I want to get back to this issue of a Republican convention. This is a real possibility. I'm not saying it's a certainty. But the usual, I don't even know what to call them. The hacks inside the Beltway. The $1,000 an hour Republican slip and fall lawyers. They're paymasters in the Senate, in the House, at the RNC. They're up to no damn good. As Cruz would call them, it's the cartel. It is a cartel. And they are now plotting not to prevent Jeb Bush from being the nominee, not to prevent Kasich from being the nominee, not to prevent Rubio from being the nominee. Rubio, who on the one hand pretends to be a conservative, while he's whispering to all the establishment guys on the other side. Let me tell you something. They are plotting against Trump and Cruz. So while the Trump guys and the Cruz guys are duking it out and fighting it out, these guys are laughing because they're figuring, you know what? Let them win. Let them get 60% of the vote. Let them get 60% of the delegates. We can stop them with 40%. We can stop them with a third. Because they can't get a majority. Together they can't get a majority. And one of the reasons I am so furious and have been with Donald Trump in the last few months is by taking the low road when it comes to Cruz. These two guys together can take the whole damn thing. But it makes it difficult, if not impossible, when certain things are said, one candidate to the other, and candidate supporters to the other supporters. It makes it almost impossible. So the establishment's laughing the whole way, and they're plotting, because that's what they do best. They plot in the shadows and they plot behind our backs. This is not a joke. This is serious. If it is a quote-unquote broker convention, they win. They win. I've seen brokered conventions. I'm old enough to remember them. They're ugly. But the establishment is not going to give up very easily, ladies and gentlemen. They've got so much at stake in big government. They are rich off of big government. They are powerful off of big government. I've been telling you this for years. I've been writing about it for years. I don't need others to tell us. As I have said for years, the biggest problem a conservative will have is the Republican establishment. If you're under 45, you haven't had a chance to vote for a conservative for president of the United States because the Republicans will not allow us to nominate one. And they fought like hell to stop Reagan. They fought like hell in 68 at the convention floor. They fought like hell in 76 to destroy him. And finally in 80, he broke through. And he broke through. And what happened when he broke through? He won 2 historic, massive landslides, whether measured by popular vote or electoral college. And even more than that, he helped the country. His policies were spectacular. Massive economic growth, the defeat of the Soviet Union, a sound dollar. America really was happy again. America really was vibrant again. It really is the difference between liberty and tyranny. I'll be right back.
Mark Levin.
My advice to the Cruz and Trump campaigns is that at least in this respect, with respect to this convention, that they send their lawyers over to the Republican National Committee immediately, demand a meeting with Reince Priebus and his lawyers, and find out exactly what these people are plotting. I feel certain Karl Rove is behind this, among others. So here we are duking it out on the issues, duking it out street by street, neighborhood by neighborhood, state by state. People are contributing money to the candidates and to these political action committees because they want to get their message out. They want to support a particular candidate. People are making phone calls, they're volunteering, they're knocking on doors. People are really focused and they're interested and they're active. And we have a Republican Party in Washington, D.C., and operatives for a Republican Party that are fully prepared to blow out all of it. Now, I will tell you this. If there is a convention and Trump and Cruz have the overwhelming majority of the delegates, but the ruling class rhinos are able to prevent a majority from going to one or the other or both, and then the delegates are pushing for somebody who, A, either didn't run in any of the primaries, or B, is one of the losers in the primaries, I can tell you right now, I will not vote for that Republican. No way. And they can't blame you and me for electing Hillary Clinton or Joe Biden or Ernie Grabotsky or Joe Schmo or whomever else. This is a corrupt party. This is a party that rejects the consent of the governed. This is a party that rejects its own members. Now, whether you like Donald Trump or not is beside the point. If he runs and he wins fair and square, then he wins. If he runs and he wins fair and square, he wins. And the same for Cruz. And yes, the same for Rubio. But it's obvious that you got three candidates here, two in particular, who are staying in this race for a reason. And I have to conclude now that the reason isn't to actually win the nomination fair and square, but to steal it. They're fronts for the Republican establishment. The Republican establishment can't even cobble together 40% of the Republican vote. So what are they doing? They want as many of these guys to stay in as possible at this point. That's what I think. You know, my working theory before was that this would help Trump and Cruz. It does help Trump and Cruz, but at a brokered convention, it helps the establishment. Because the way you and I are looking at it is honestly, with integrity. We're saying, okay, you got Trump and Cruz and Carson, these other three. As long as the other three are taking votes from each other, Trump or Cruz are likely to win. The establishment is looking at it, hey, stay in. We know you're going to lose. Just get enough votes to deny one of them a majority, and we'll take it to the convention floor, and then we'll own the process, because we wrote the rules, and we stacked the House. What kind of a party is that? It's like the old Soviet party. Now, Reince Priebus, who is, to put it bluntly, a coward, he only goes on programs where they kiss his knee. Reince Priebus would never come on this program. And I guess if I'm Reince Priebus, I'd never come on this program either, because he's not going to be honest, he's not going to be straightforward and forthcoming, and he doesn't want me asking the questions. He wants Regretta to ask him the questions. Or some other dupe. So the question to Reince Priebus and all of his $1,000 an hour slip and fall hack lawyers is this. Why don't you tell us flat out what your plans are? Tell us flat out. Ladies and gentlemen, I wouldn't donate 1 penny to the Republican Party. I don't. If you support a candidate, then support the candidate directly. If you support a cause, support the cause directly. Don't have your hard-earned money, your donation, filtered through, laundered through the bureaucracy at the RNC and the establishment there, where off the top they pay themselves these big salaries. Do not contribute to the National Republican Senatorial Committee. It was a disgrace the other day when Mitch McConnell sent out an email under the National Republican Senatorial Committee email address asking you to sign a petition to support his position on Antonin Scalia. And by the way, make a donation. Make a donation? Antonin Scalia just died, you jerk. They can't help themselves. They can't stop. It's endless. They're power hungry. It's insatiable. And what damn good does it do for the rest of us? They won't even stand up and fight an imperial lawless president. They won't even stand up and defend the Constitution of the United States. But they keep grubbing for money. Even as Antonin Scalia hasn't even had his funeral yet. And the Republican majority leader of the Senate is pushing out email asking you to sign a petition and make a donation. I'll be right back.
The Mark Levin Show is tomorrow's morning show. You can reach Mark now at 877-381-3811.